Hello, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. Okay, so we're going to begin this tarot journey. Want to enhance your tarot practice by looking at some Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery. This is something that we need to really sort of take a moment to have a look at all the varieties of Rider-Waite-Smith. So we're beginning with the Secrets of Tarot. As you can see, it's got keywords. And it's got keywords and things like that on the cards, which is going to show us very easily out of the box what the message of the cards are. Now, not all keywords you might agree with, but it's a good starting point to begin the journey with the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now, you'll find lots of Rider-Waite-Smith decks with keywords on their cards. There are lots of variety, lots created, which are all a little different. But this is just one. Secrets of Tarot by Amanda Hall. So, yeah, you can sort of see the different imagery here. This is Rider-Waite-Smith imagery created by Arthur E. Waite and painted or created by Pamela Coleman Smith. So you can sort of see that there. So let's put that to one side. Okay, this deck here is the Waite-Smith tarot deck, borderless edition. Now, there are many Rider-Waite-Smith decks. This is just one that you can see with the suit there. You can see the suit. No titles on the card. The minor arcana. And you can see the scenes. Rider-Waite-Smith is all about the scenes on the cards. Okay, so that's the Smith-Waite tarot with the Secrets of Tarot by Amanda Hall. Okay, there are other decks with Rider-Waite-Smith imagery available. This is an independent created deck, the Waterfall Tarot. As you can see, it's very, very basically with the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, but there are some twists to the imagery. This is watercolor, created by Tarot Oracle and still available through his Etsy store. You'll find heaps of different independent created Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery decks. Okay, so we've looked at the Secrets of Tarot, the Waite-Smith. You can see the ones with the keywords. There's lots of other decks with keywords and things on it. You can see the Smith-Waite that are just with the titles. They're traditionally pentacles, cups, swords, and wands, of course. Let's put them to one side. As we look at other decks that are recommended for learning tarot, if you're just starting out, you're just beginning, you've got Radley Valentine's type decks with angels, animals, fairies, etc. These fairy deck, angel deck has different suits, as you can see, done by the elements. There's lots of keywords and sentences on the bottom of the card. These are done with the elements, earth, air, fire, and water. You'll get some of his decks with the seasons. There's all sorts of different aspects if you look at different type of angel decks, animal, and fairy tarot decks. There's quite a few different ones to choose from in regard to that. Now, another great artist is Jane Wallace. She has keywords on her cards, even though the minor arcana are pip decks. They are pip decks, okay? They're not scenic. That's the difference. But they do have keywords on them. So they're really good for learning the meanings of the cards. Okay, there's the Magical Nordic, there's Oceanic, there is Crystal Power, there is quite a few decks there. There is also, she has got an Angel one out, and she does have a, what else is there? There was a Mythical Goddess coming out. Yeah, oh, there's Stars and Moons as well that she actually has, which I do have there. So those decks do have keywords on them, affirmations, a little bit more information if you want to sort of looking at developing your tarot practice. Okay, another great created deck is Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Now, the guidebook is by Barbara Moore. Now, you'll find all guidebooks by Barbara Moore absolutely awesome. The Gilded Tarot, Tarot Royale, there was a Gilded Tarot, and that was in like a kit, which was absolutely awesome for learning tarot. Any book by Barbara Moore, you're going to find absolutely awesome in regards to tarot. Ciro Marchetti has a wide range of tarot decks available too. That's just one of his decks, which I think is quite a good one for if you're just learning tarot, just beginning. This is the Steampunk Tarot. This is a mini size, of course, but you want the full size if you want the guidebook, of course, for learning. These little mini ones are great for on the go if you're going somewhere. But if you're actually learning tarot, using the guidebook is going to be absolutely the best way to go in regards to learning tarot. So there's lots of decks with the Barbara Moore written for the guidebook, and absolutely awesome is the best way to go. If you're wanting to learn tarot, Barbara Moore has given a wealth of information in regards to learning tarot. Okay, so we've talked about the Rider-Waite-Smith decks. We've talked a little bit about Radley Valentine's Angel Tarot, and we have with the Smith-Waite, of course, and of course the other decks that are sort of good for learning as well. So there's so many decks to choose from. Don't limit yourself to just what people suggest. Have a look and find something that appeals to you in regards to imagery. I began learning tarot with the Native American Tarot deck. This is not traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith. It does have keywords on the minor arcana. It was more Thoth, but for some reason this deck spoke volumes to me. I've been using this deck for 20 plus years. Does come with a little white book, but the companion book is so worth it to get. It does have the teachings of the Native American people, so definitely a great deck to work with. Quite unique, a little different in regards to, again, you've got the suits are slightly different with the vessels, blades, pipes, and I don't know what else I said. I've lost the plot. Okay, so yeah, I started with Native American Tarot, so yeah, you can see that's a really good deck for me. You'll see I use that quite a lot, and if you've been watching my channel, you might have seen videos in regards to that. Okay, so we've gone through and had a look at the Rider-Waite-Smith type decks. I feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but yeah, that's it from me. Okay, so we're ready for the next section. Okay, as we continue looking at the Tarot de Marseille style deck. Okay, so let me just grab the Tarot de Marseille. Okay, this is Lo Scarabeo. You can see the pip cards there. I'm just having a look at the deck. You can see the strength card there. Okay, so you're going to find the numbers are slightly different here. You've got in the Rider-Waite-Smith, you have strength as 8. Here you have it as 11 in the Tarot de Marseille. You have it as 11. So quite a bit different here. Now remember, Tarot de Marseille sort of as a divination deck, used for divination, was the late 18th century, of course, 1700s, but it was used before then as a card game, tarot, jeu de tarot, tarocchi, depending on where you're from, what type of game you played. But yes, there were all over Europe. There was tarot was actually a card game, and then in the 18th century it became a divination. And you can see the differences here with the minor arcana here, with the Rider-Waite-Smith being scenic and the Tarot de Marseille being pip, meaning non-scenic minor arcana. I mean, they don't have scenes on them, they're just the pip. So they're just the coins, or the swords, or the batons instead of wands, and chalices instead of cups, or goblet, you know, chalices. So yeah, so you can see the minor arcana there as pips. So that's going to be the difference. Now there's lots and lots of different types of Tarot de Marseille styled decks. There's some great reproductions, some great facsimiles, I can't even say the word, facsimiles. Sorry guys, I just had a blank there with the way I was pronouncing the words. Okay, so there's lots of different recreations of Tarot de Marseille. Okay, so that's something to really sort of think about when you're looking at a different tarot decks. So there we have the Claude Bourdelle, 1751, Lo Scarabeo. Okay, next we have the Convert, Nicholas Convert. It's a Lo Scarabeo Antique Edition. It was a set that comes out with all sorts of different Tarot de Marseille style decks from all over Europe. So there's lots of different ones from this edition, from these series that are coming out by Lo Scarabeo. This is just one of the Tarot de Marseille deck. Okay, next we have the Spanish Tarot. Okay, this is Spanish Tarot. Again, very, very similar. Just the colours are different. Might be read slightly different depending on the books you use. But it has the same sort of style. Okay, we also have the Ancient Italian. Again, you've got the similar style, similar style deck, but of course the artwork is different. Yeah. Now also available is, you'll find independent deck creators who create a huge variety of Tarot de Marseille style decks within their own hand. Some of them are mass market, some of them are more independently created. There's a beautiful Tarot de Marseille. This is a Tarot del Tango done by an Argentinian artist, creating a huge variety of artwork and court cards, and you can see the different minor arcana there with the cups, the goblets. Then you've got the street lamps for pentacles. You've got the banderillos, which is like the accordion, for wands. And then you have, the banderillas. And of course the court cards, the titles are slightly different. They are not in English, of course. So in Spanish. So yeah, so really, really a beautiful, independently created. It was a Kickstarter. So you'll find lots of independently created Tarot de Marseille styled decks with their own twist. Put it that way. You might have some that are more traditional, but then you'll have some that have a little bit of a twist with them as well. So that's the Tarot del Tango. So we're looking at the different Tarot de Marseille style decks. You'll find lots of them out there. One JJ Swiss. There's the Il Melangello Tarot de Marseille style decks. Now, oops, nearly forgot. There is one other Tarot de Marseille style deck. We have the Visconti Sforza, which was created in the 1400s for a Italian family, and it was done with triumphs, which were used for a card game, a tarot, jeu de tarot or tarocchi, depending on where you're from. Of course, it was in Italy, so it was the tarocchi. So yeah, the Visconti Sforza, as you can see, hand painted, a little bit different from the Tarot de Marseille, but also very similar in some ways as well. So yeah, so we are now ready, after looking at the Tarot de Marseille and we've looked at the Rider-Waite-Smith, we are now ready for part 3. Okay, so now we are ready for the Thoth Tarot. Now, Thoth Tarot, created by Aleister Crowley, painted by Lady Freda Harris, done in 1948, but not published until 1968, 69, 68. At AGM. So it's very beautifully done, as you can see by the colours. The artwork's absolutely stunning. I know Aleister Crowley has a bit of a rap in regards to his past, but it's more about Lady Freda Harris with her artwork. It's absolutely stunning. There's a lot to that background there that you need to do a little bit of history. There's some really great books out there in regards to reading with the Thoth. All the Thoth, the minor arcana, does have keywords, does have some type keywords on them, which is great for sort of reading. You can see they're very different than Rider-Waite-Smith. It is quite different. If you want to really go into deep Thoth study, which takes time, takes practice, definitely there's some great books out there in regards to reading the Thoth Tarot and how to include the astrology aspects to it, the Kabbalah. There's can go quite in depth if you want to advance your tarot practice. If you've really sort of been reading tarot for a little while and you want to go into tarot a little bit deeper, it does offer that more astrology, Kabbalah aspect. You can do that with Rider-Waite-Smith, don't get me wrong. That's the back of the card, of course, that you can see there. A lot of the decks do have that backing. You will see astrology and Kabbalah used with Rider-Waite-Smith, of course, but it's more about, I think it can be more for me personally, it's more of a Thoth aspect. If you want to go really deep, I'm talking a really deep tarot practice is Thoth. Now, remembering I did use the that's the large deck. Of course, there is a mini deck as well. Comes in different sizes with the Thoth. And there's lots of Thoth-inspired decks. As you know, that I've got the Native American Tarot that I used, very Thoth-based. Again, you've got the keywords on it, which made it really, really good. Okay, so another and you'll find lots of decks will include Thoth in their practice if you wish to use it that way. Okay, and one of those decks is the Mary L Tarot. Mary L's been, tarot by Mary White's been around for a long time. It's been around for quite a while. It was been different editions, different versions. You might see this is version 1 mass market by Schiffer, Red Feather Schiffer. There is a second edition out, of course. There are some differences with some of the images which he changed, and of course the difference between the borders and the borderless, with the different editions, of course. It's such an amazing deck. You can use it Rider-Waite-Smith, can use it Thothy. You can use the combination. The artwork's amazing, great for meditation. It's an incredible advanced tarot deck. It's quite deep and quite a lot more than just the Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery. Okay, so you'll find lots of Thoth type decks out there, which are a little different, a little bit more in depth, maybe a little bit of different practice. They do a little bit more about, there's so much more to it. If you wish to advance your tarot practice, this is just another level, a different way to look at tarot. Really look at things just a wee bit different, working with Thoth. So we've talked about Rider-Waite-Smith, Tarot de Marseille style decks, and Thoth styled decks. Okay, so what's next? There are so many different types of tarot decks out there to choose from. You'll find some tarot decks that are movies, like Hocus Pocus, Alice in Wonderland. You'll get, and the Labyrinth, all movie type decks. Then you'll also have TV series like Supernatural Tarot. Now, with these decks here, they are novelty decks, okay? They're not going to be traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. They're going to be minor arcanas, going to be pips, not necessarily all with the characters. So you're not going to get the same imagery that you're going to get. Titles could be different. The pip, as you can see, the pip decks, non-scenic. The characters are not really doing anything. They're not showing anything. I love Supernatural because I love the TV series. I watched all 15 seasons. I love the characters by it, so I have a bit more of an understanding in regards to that sort of area. But it is a novel. They are novelty decks. They are decks that are not traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith type. They're not doing a lot. So if you're learning tarot, the best to stay away from. But if you want something a little different, a little bit quirky, you've been reading tarot for a little while and you want to learn something a little different with the different titles, the different pips, the different minor arcana, the different suits and things like that. Like you've got junk with the Labyrinth Tarot, you've got the junk and the pots and the just different aspects, just completely different. And you can sort of get of feathers for swords, of course. And so you're getting a little bit different suits, different titles, different imagery. So you can see that it's not, and poles for wands. So they are slightly different here. So with the Labyrinth Tarot, as you can see, so the titles, the cards, they're all slightly different. You're not going to get the same traditional Tarot de Marseille, Rider-Waite-Smith, or Thoth titles. So you're going to be still learning something new, something different in regards to tarot. So not good if you're just learning, but great if you want to sort of add something a little different to your readings. You want to do something a little different. You want maybe something a little bit more cutie. So the Alice in Wonderland is really cute. You've got flowers for wands. There's spears for swords. There's hedgehogs for pentacles. teacups for cups. So, and of course the character cards are a little bit different. You're not traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith. The pip cards are different. So yeah, I think it's really important just to have a look and think about when you're purchasing a tarot deck, is this going to enhance my tarot practice as a beginner? Or is this something that's new and exciting for when I'm a little bit more advanced in my tarot practice and I just want something a little bit quirky, a little bit different? Maybe I want something for a theme. I want to go into Halloween, and I think the Hocus Pocus is going to be really cool for that. So it's going to maybe bring a different pump. You know, we've got candles, pumpkins, so we've lightning. So yeah, so it's going to be that little bit different in regards to the suits, titles, characters. Again, you've got the minor arcana as pips. So you've got lots of movies, TV series, all types of sort of themey type decks, which are great little novelty decks, but not good if you're learning. But they're okay if you want something a little bit more advanced, you want to enhance your tarot practice in a different way, just feel like want to learn something a little different. So there's lots of other decks out there too, which look at culture. So here we have the Chinese tarot. Again, you're going to have different titles. The imagery is going to be slightly different. It's not traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith. So again, you're going to get that slightly different something to learn. This is the Tarot of Cleopatra from Egyptian tarot. So again, you're going to have that slightly different imagery, minor arcana. It's not going to be very easy to know, to look at if you're not used to working with tarot. It's a deck that you're going to have to do a little bit of study with, a little work with, and to sort of dive a little bit deeper into, to learn and develop an understanding. Here's the Maori Tattoo Tarot. This is a New Zealand one. Again, you're going to have gourds. So you're going to have different, you're going to have different minor arcana and the titles for the major arcana. So again, you're going to have to do some study, do some learning, do some development. There's lots of cultural decks. This is a Japanese, vintage Japanese, Bobby Alexander. He does all sorts of tarot decks. His tarot decks are a little bit different. They are artwork sort of adjusted to the tarot cards, not art done for the tarot cards, but it's the tarot, the titles are done for the tarot, for the artwork basically. It's a little bit different. So you're not going to get, again, you're not going to get the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery when you're looking at the cultural decks. Here we have a mass market sort of Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery in a lot of the cards. This is the Universal Celtic Tarot, or Celtic Tarot, depending on how you want to say it. That's a low Scarabeo. Now you will get the odd cultural type deck that is based on Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery, depending on the artist or the creator, of course. But this is a really good little culture, you know, Universal Celtic. If you want to go that route, I think it's absolutely brilliant deck. So you will find some, depending on what your thoughts are. There are lots and lots of cultural type decks that will add something different to your readings. If you're interested in that culture, you want to learn something a little different. Again, if you just want to make some learn something, there's so much you can learn when you bring out a new tarot deck into your practice. So I just want to include that in your learning, in your wanting to learn tarot, just to be aware when you're buying a deck that not all decks are going to be straight out of the box and be easy to use, find lots of books on. Some decks are really going to take some real study. Like we have the Animal Wisdom Tarot, and it's changed its name animal spirit tarot, spirit animal tarot, something like animal spirit tarot, something like that. So this is animal wisdom tarot. Again, you've got different suits, different titles. The animals are not Rider-Waite-Smith. Again, you're learning something a bit different. They're not easy to at a glance until you really get used to it. So again, you're gonna have different suits, different things to look at. So I mean, there are some great animal decks out there with cats and dogs and things like that. Some are Rider-Waite-Smith type imagery. Some are a bit different, depending on what you want. Here we have the Herb Crafters Tarot. So we've got lots of decks with plants and herbs and those sort of things, nature-based. And again, you're going to get the differences, different titles, different suits. Imagery's not going to be traditionally Rider-Waite-Smith, of course, again, or Tarot de Marseille or Thoth. Again, you're going to have its unique style. So you've got lots and lots of decks to look at, lots of themes to think about. When you want to enhance your tarot practice to something more, once you've been reading tarot for a little while, you've been reading with Rider-Waite-Smith, maybe you've looked at Tarot de Marseille, you've looked at Thoth, and you want to look, and you've looked at some different types of decks, and this is another deck that you can use that are a bit different. Again, you've got the pips. I know they're based on Rider-Waite-Smith, but your pips are different. They've got moths, beetles, dragonflies. There's your major arcanas, your court cards are all slightly different. This is a Victorian steampunk tarot and quite unique in the artwork, collage type artwork. It's a wee bit different. So yeah, there are some nods to Rider-Waite-Smith, of course, in the imagery, but it's not the traditional image. And of course, you've got your suits are different, your title, your suits could be different. So that's going to make it a little bit harder if you're not used to working with tarot. So you need to take your time in learning what the suits all are. So you can see that there's quite a variety of tarot decks that we've explored, we've looked at, just to give you an idea of some things to think about when you're choosing your tarot deck. Okay, that's it from me. Take care and blessed be.